Everybody.
Hey, sick of us yet?
No. Never.
What are your instructions to the younger guys, mainly the rookies, I guess, over the next 6 weeks? What do you want them to do? What do you want them to not do?
Yeah, that's instructions to everybody, right? You want them to come back in great shape, and you want them to, make sure they're doing the right things off the field. But those would be the main two things that I'm going to say after practice. Come back in the best shape of your life, and make sure we're doing the right things to stay out of the news, and so those are the main things we'll be talking about.
Nick, what are some things that maybe impressed you over these previous 5 or 6 OTAs that you had together? What are some things that stood out impressively?
Yeah, I just think you see the fundamentals continuing to grow. And that's from the guys that just got here, right? The fundamentals of what we're trying to look like. But then just how much better, too, the guys that have been here are with their fundamentals, and that they just keep getting better. And that's just our message, and that's just what we strive to do, is just to get better every day. And you're really seeing that in a lot of our players, just that their fundamentals are really improving. And that's because one reason is because they're really working hard at it, and two, we're devoting a lot of time to it in our individual phases of OTAs.
Next spot here, but are there any individual players that maybe in...
Who took your seat?
Chain reaction.
This
guy.
Where'd you usually sit?
I'm out here every day.
Okay. You're just taking seats. Though.
Yeah. Putting you in the spot here a little bit, but are there any individual players maybe in roles during the spring that have stood out now that they've been given an opportunity?
A lot of guys are standing out to me. I really, and I have no problem singling one guy out that I think's just done a phenomenal job this offseason is Quez Watkins. I think I love his attitude of, and I've said this to him, and I have no problem saying it here. Like, you guys, some people around here, and it's not in this building. We got a ton of confidence in Quez Watkins, but I kind of sense from him. He's never said this, but I kind of sense, some people think I stink. Wait, and that's how he's attacked every day. That's how he's attacked practices, and I really think that he looks really good, and we know he's got a lot of talent, and that I'm excited about that. And I really like the way he's went about his business, because he can't control anything but what he can control, and he can't control what other people think about him. He can't control anything like that. He can't control things that may have happened to him last year, the opportunities that he got last year or did not get. All he controls how he works, and I'm really been excited about how he's went about his business.
Hey, Nick, this time last year, you had noted a jump in Jalen's accuracy and decision making. I'm curious, now at this point, is there something that he had worked on in the offseason that you're starting to?
Jalen may be the most coachable person I've ever been around in my life, and that he's just always looking to get better. Now, that's our job as coaches, to make sure we're feeding him good information. He's so coachable. Like, he just keeps getting better, and he keeps getting better, and he keeps getting better. And so I see another jump in everything that he's done with the accuracy, with the decision making. We're doing 7-on-7, so there is no rush. So there's no pass rush except for the guys that are walking at him with the bags. But Peter, our equipment manager, is not going to make a sack on him in that particular case. But but I do see his development continuing, and that's why we talk about with Jalen all the time. I don't know what his ceiling is, because he just keeps getting better, and he's going to continue to do that. And so I've seen that same jump, just the decision, the speed in which he makes his decision, his accuracy of his throws. He's really had a good spring.
So far, what stood out about Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith and how they acclimated?
Yeah, I think you just see their athletic ability in the drill work. We're doing a lot of 7-on-7, not team drills, but they're getting a lot of individual work, and so you're seeing the things that we saw obviously on tape and of what they do well, and the power, their athletic ability, their personalities, right? And so you're seeing that every day in drills, and so it's not the same type of measuring stick that you get maybe a skill guy who's getting some team periods with the 7-on-7, but you're seeing the development in the skill, and you're seeing their skill in the individual periods with Coach Rocker and Coach Wash.
What are you seeing from the running back room? You brought in the two new guys, and DeAndre and Rashad, plus you have Kenny and Boston Scott. Like, how is that competition kind of?
Yeah, you got Trey too, who we're really excited about. And Kenny Brooks is doing a nice job. Man, it's like we got backs we got a really deep room there, and you're excited about the competition that we're gonna have there. Backs get a little bit more chance to shine when the pads come on, right? Now they're still out there doing some things, and Kenny and DeAndre have done a really nice job in the receiving area, and so has Boston. They all have, but really Kenny and DeAndre have done a nice job there. Some of those competitions sort itself out when they get the pads on, especially with that position, but. Man, we're deep there. It's a good problem to have, and as a coach, and I know, it's just a really good problem. So we're really deep at that spot. It's going to be great battles to who makes this football team, and they're all going to be able to contribute in some sort of way.
Nick, we were talking.
DeAndre Hopkins expressed interest in coming here. Is that something you would consider?
I'm really pleased with the group that we have. Howie's always looking. Howie and myself are always looking for opportunities to make the team better. But I really love the room that we have. I think we got a really phenomenal room, led by AJ and Devontae, who've had great springs, and I'm excited about Quez. I'm excited about OZ. I'm excited. I'm just excited. And Bring Covey's taking another step. Right, we got some young guys in the fold that I really like. So I'm really pleased with that room. You never know what's going to happen, but I really like our room, and I'm really pleased with that room.
Nick, how much does practice change now that you had to move it indoors because of the air quality?
We have to do this in the season too, right? Depending on the weather, depending on what type of day you're looking to get. If it's who you're playing, or we're playing in Dallas and it's a snowstorm outside or super windy, we may not go out there. So this isn't new to us, right? You handle adjustments, and even if it was new to us, this is the life of the NFL. You handle adjustments, and this is what it is. That you can't go outside today, right? And work out, and so we'll be inside, and that's just the way it is. And first and foremost, it's always about our players' health. We're always going to put their health first, and the people of our building. You guys, right? We don't want you out there breathing it either. I'm not quite as concerned about you guys as I am about the players, but it's we're always considering, thinking about them first, and with the baseball games getting canceled and everything. Again, we have the number of what we can be outside, when we can't be outside. Our trainers and doctors do a phenomenal job of giving us the information. And obviously today it's an indoor practice, but it's business as usual. This is not new to us.
Nick,
So
we were
Sean
talking.
had, sort of talked about wanting his defense to be palpable. He wants opposing teams to, feel the defense or whatever. Curious if that was sort of part of his pitch when you were interviewing, and if that's something that you've sort of adopted, like team-wide, as opposed to just the defense.
Yeah. Tell me what palpable means.
So he wants, I guess not, is the answer.
Okay. All right.
But he wants, opposing teams to sort of feel the defense. He wants it to be, and the word he's used is palpable. A lot of players have sort of parroted that message.
I'll have to ask him what that means. All right, but no, I mean, I think what you always want to be felt out in the field, right? Our personality as a team is to be physical, right? And I think what happens, like, we talk about it all the time. Well, how are we physical? One, we have really physical players, right? We have players that are physical, and I think that's an edge that we know we go into games with, is that we're a physical football team, right? And our guys take pride of walking out in the field and say, hey, we're physical, and this is a physical game. And for the past 2 years, I know that's what we talk about a lot, is just, hey, who are we? We're fast, we're physical, and we're for each other, right? And I think that they feel that when you have those being physical, that they know that they have an advantage when they step out in the field. So I think that's offense, defense, that's special teams.
Last week, Nick, we were talking to
Nick Morrow, and he mentioned something. He said he's learned more about situational football in 6 weeks here than he has in 6 years. Why? What do you guys do that other teams don't do when it comes to situations?
Well, we talk about it a lot, right? We talk about it an awful lot. Like this, in the off season, I can give you some things, but when after we have a practice, after we have an OTA, we'll come in here, we'll review the practice film together as a team, our accountability piece, and then we'll get into situations, right? And whether it's today it was 2 minute, yesterday was 4 minute, the day before that was backed up, whatever it is. And we go over the things that are required amongst that situation in the game for us to be successful. And so we're just diligent with that, and so we want our players to feel that. We want our players to walk out on the field and say, hey, we're a physical team, we have an advantage here, and then we want them to walk out there and say, hey, we're a smart football team, we have a high football IQ, and we have an advantage here. And so you're always trying to work on football IQ. What did I say in my opening press conference that everybody would make fun of? I want a smart team. And where they don't have, so like that was real funny when I was making fun of it, right? But we're a smart football team, right? And so I guess I was onto something there. But anyway, but that's what you're trying to do in those things. You're trying to create football IQ, and you're doing that through situational football. And so it's just something that is in our core values. And I can't say this enough. Core values isn't just something on the wall that it says connect, compete, accountability, football IQ, and fundamentals. And we say that, and then we walk out, and we don't do that anymore. We practice it and we preach it every single day. So I'm glad he feels that way, because that's what we want. We want him to feel that way. We want our guys to feel equipped to handle situations. We want our coaches to feel equipped to handle situations. I mean, today, it was the 2 minute situation is about us as coaches putting them in the right call based off the situation, and then the players, going out and doing that call. But I made it very clear to the coaches, we got to get you guys in the right call. Like, we have to practice it so much. So we do. We feel like that's an edge that we have when we step out into the field, because we work at it a lot.
One more, guys.
Sorry. On the gambling policy. And what time has been spent this spring on the gambling policy?
Yeah.
What's the message from you on that?
Even in the season, we devote a day, a meeting a week to talk about any issues that popped up, right? And it's just their accountability piece. That doesn't mean you don't go through some of these issues or anything like that, but you go over it and you talk about what's happened and how we can avoid that, and the resources that we have to avoid that. That's if somebody gets in trouble or whatever throughout the year. And you do the same thing with a situation like this, because it's real, and you just try to educate. You try to tell them what the rules are. You try to tell them the resources we have. There's just so many things available to us, and so again, it's just an educational on it, and that you just talk about, and you just you don't hide problems. You put them out in the open in attempts that you don't repeat problems or have the problems yourself.
Has there anybody that
You got 2 minutes.
Go ahead.
Has there anybody that stood out to you in terms of leadership on and off the field who normally did not show that last year?